Hello everyone! It's the day 2 of our hackathon, GPT-3 online hackathon, and I hope that everyone are already in teams and working on their concepts. Today with me is Paweł Czech, co-founder of New Native, and he'll be speaking today about strategies for limitless growth. Paweł, the stage is yours.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much, Kuba, for the lovely introduction. My name is Paweł Czech, and I will speak today shortly about the basics of developing strategies for growing startups and enterprises in general. So just a little bit of my background very shortly. So I have a long-lasting background in business development, in building strategies for creating revenue, new revenue, specifically in areas of the education industry, the HR industry, the biotech industry, and the artificial intelligence industry. And I'll be taking you today through the very, very basic components of building these strategies. And obviously, we won't be going very deep into any of these, but during the hackathon, I am available to you as a mentor to answer additional questions around building your business. So let's get into it. Kuba, can you just confirm that everybody can see my screen and we can go?
Yes, confirmed, everyone see.
Perfect. So I think we can start with a few quotes. The first one is from Matthias, the co-founder of New Native, founder of NextGrid and Deep Learning Labs. And it's very clear that in the next few years, there will be businesses that implement artificial intelligence and business that don't exist anymore. Now, this creates a tremendous shift in the global economy, and it allows you to create concepts, companies, and structures that can really excel. So the other one is from me, which is to walk fast, don't talk to strangers, and invest in AI. And invest in AI means invest your time in artificial intelligence, your knowledge, what do you learn, where do you create value. And I strongly believe that right now the knowledge is out there, and you can create value for yourself and for others by simply learning, moving fast, not talking to people that don't understand artificial intelligence, and ideally investing in yourself and in creating value. So when talking about what is value, right? What is the value of a company, and how does a company create value? It's nice to think of it as an iceberg, right? So there are things that are instantly visible, and these are the things that are then hidden underneath. So the total iceberg, is the total iceberg. The big iceberg is the total addressable market. So your entire revenue opportunity, and you want the iceberg to be as big as possible. You want the iceberg to be massive, right? The bigger the iceberg, the higher the probability you're going to sink the Titanic, hit the jackpot, as they say. So if you imagine a product or a service that AI can fulfill, that you can develop using the tools that you'll be accessing today and tomorrow, and think about what is the total market it addresses. Ideally, you want to address the whole human population, right? You want to say, my product, my service can help every single human on the planet. But that's very hard to do and hard to reach all of those people. So you also know that not everybody will be able to use your service. Like if your service is based on access to a computer or to a phone, and there are people, let's say, that don't have access to a computer or a phone or an internet connection, then they cannot be reached by your service. So that creates a serviceable market, serviceable addressable market, so SAM. And this is the population that can actually access your service when you release it. And the obtainable market share, so the serviceable obtainable market, is the realistic share of the market that you want to capture. And on this realistic share, you can actually put a timeline on it. Yeah, you can say that in year 1, I will reach X% of the serviceable market. Then I will reach in the second year another X of the serviceable market. So it sounds funny because it's tam, sum, sum, but it's actually very important. So this is an example, right? So a simple example how we differentiate between these. So when you have the total addressable market of $600 billion, yeah, and then you have the serviceable market that is available, it's 10% of the total market, so 60 billion. And then you have the obtainable market. So here you want to focus on the number of users that you're going to have, or the number of enterprises that you're going to have, and then you can basically say, okay, I am able to obtain 800 million people within 5 years, 10 years. And you can see that the progression of adoption of different products is accelerated dramatically. So we know that TVs took multiple years to reach an audience of 100 million people, and then the internet cut that time dramatically. Then the smartphone, and so each new technology, if the technology is really helping people, it's really solving a specific issue that people have. Each new technology introduced into serviceable obtainable markets, the adoption of that technology dramatically increases and or accelerates. And we can talk about that during the next 2 days in detail. So once you understand what is the market that you want to address, you are looking for something that's called product market fit. And this is where most companies will fail, because they tend to scale or tend to want to go into the market before they achieve a product market fit. And there are very specific reasons for this. So the first question that is really good to write down, yeah? And the first question that you really need to answer is, who is the good customer, right? So for my service, for my product, who is a good customer? Not who are all the possible customers. That's not the point here. The point here is to narrow it down even further into who will be good for me and who I will be good for. And the easiest, the simplest way to think about it is that there's 2 types of buyers. There's a transactional buyer and a relationship buyer. So a transactional buyer is a buyer that you can transact with in a very short time, in a very convenient way. And this has some consequences. And a relationship buyer is a buyer that you need to build a relationship with. You need to understand their needs. You need to understand what is their cycle of making decisions. And the timeline of interaction is much longer. So the transactional buyer usually invests small amounts, yeah. So they don't. It's not a big amount that they're going to be putting in. And depending on the market, whether you're talking B2C, these amounts are very small, usually between $5 and $10, based on, let's say, in-app purchases or app purchases. Or in retail, we're talking about, again, a few dollars in and out. And switching between one type of service and another type of service is very low cost, because you just delete the app, you take another app in, it doesn't cost you that much. And they are buying the product based on a calculation in their head that is instant, which is there's a price, there's a result, I match these two. Is it worth to spend that money? This means that overall you want to coordinate the sales process as little as possible. Yeah, you want the decisions to be instant. You need the decisions to be basically things that people don't think about, right? So that's a transactional buyer, and we call that a spot market. So on the spot decisions, it's easy to think about it like that. And then we have relationship buyers. So these buyers think about the purchase in a much longer time horizon. They spend a lot more money, so they invest their time, their effort, their cash in a much more specialized procedure or an asset or a service or a product. And for them, once you get these customers in, the cost for them to switch services is much higher. So they are not only buying the product, but they actually are buying the relationship and the promise of high quality partnership and a high quality organization. And coordinating that process is a major sales effort, right? And we'll talk about this in detail in a second. Now, once you understand who's a good customer, you need to also understand that this creates consequences. And this creates consequences in the way you manage opportunities, in the way you manage relationships with your potential customers. And it's not easy, right? So there's the potential to have tremendous success, and there's the potential to fail. And it has to be very clearly said that failure, if you mismanage this process, failure is a huge risk that you're facing. So if you have a strategic buyer, a solutions buyer, you are building a relationship sales around program and resources, and you need to build relationship opportunities. So relationship opportunities mean that the interaction is much more on a personal level, and that you have to build the relationship. And so if your product requires large implementation, it requires understanding of the customer, it requires deep knowledge of processes and products on the customer side, and then you cannot expect to sell it instantly. You cannot just put it on the internet and expect people to click yes, buy. You need to build those relationships. And relationship opportunities are simply bigger. The amount needs to be bigger because the time and effort you're going to spend on building these relationships is significant. So this also means that you cannot create many, because you are a small team usually in the beginning. Let's say the founder or the two founders or co-founders of a business, they need to manage the sales process on their own. They cannot really manage a company, product, coding, development, marketing, and sales at the same time. So they focus on one or two big opportunities, and that creates a relationship success. A transactional success is when you do put your product out there in an instant buy option, and you don't spend time on talking with your customers. You don't spend time on really addressing their issues, their concerns, because you know that they will buy because the price versus the performance of the product is appealing. And this is where you test a lot. You test whether, what type of customer will buy it? What is the price point that they will buy it at? Where will they buy it? And you create transactional opportunities. You don't spend time of the sales process, but then when the sales process starts, you don't spend time on each individual sales. Now, that creates success. Now, what creates failure is when you have a pricey product or high value product, that requires a lot of decision making, a lot of procedures internally, for a buyer to make a decision, and you sell that product on a transactional way. So you say, okay, it's $100,000 to subscribe to my product, and you just need to give me your credit card. So that's a bit abstract, absurd, but that's how a lot of companies think. They would say, okay, there's a lot of corporations in the world, and all of them will want to buy my product, so I should talk to all of them. That's not the correct way to do it. You have to pick the customers if you have a relationship product and make sure that they are super successful. Yeah. So then it means that you need to pick bigger opportunities, bigger transactions. And if you don't do that, if you pick small opportunities, small transactions, small deals that have, and you try to sell it like that, then you are bound for failure. And the same with transactions. If you have a very small app, or an app that does big things but it doesn't cost that much, or a service that does big things but doesn't cost that much, and it's very instant, the service is very instant, the benefit is instant, and you try to onboard huge companies, you try to create huge sales opportunities for that small element, then you are bound for failure as well, because these relationship buyers will not make decisions in that way. Yeah, their individual employees might want to use something, and that's a strategy, separate strategy, but the organization as a whole will not buy such a solution because simply that solution isn't fit specifically for them, and they want something that is specifically fit for them. So responding to an opportunity is not binary. It's not as simply yes or no. So I don't want everybody to think that it is, black and white. It's shades of gray, if you wish. And you need to analyze the whole spectrum of these opportunities before you decide how to respond. So you need to measure, you need to gather information, and you need to implement performance-based systems. So if you are not measuring, the time cycle of a connection, and you're not gathering information about the parameters of a transactional buyer or the parameters of a relationship buyer, you cannot really determine whether your effort is successful or unsuccessful. Internally, this is very important, that when you then develop a startup or you're working in a big company, resources, so people, computing time, coding time, these resources must be aligned to the opportunities. So if you put all of your resources in creating a transactional product, but then you take all of your activities and direct them to a big single purchase by a corporate, then you don't achieve product market fit, you achieve failure. And it's, again, a simplification, but in most product cycles, when you look at product features, the further you are from a transaction, instant transaction, the closer you are to a solution. So a solution means that it has specific advantages and disadvantages. So if you're doing transactional sales, the product development is basically creating new features. So you add a feature that creates an easier transaction. It creates a more appealing price versus performance metric. Now, then you start adding APIs, technical add-ons. Then you start adding different features that you can do in-app purchases, or you have specific technical add-ons that require additional payment. Then you're moving closer to a solution. And then you basically go into a custom solution. So I will develop something for you, right? I will use AI, I will use my expertise, I will use my resources and my activities to create a solution for you. And it ends with a completely new business model. Yeah, so you gravitate, if you take that road, you go from something very simple into creating a totally new business model. And if you don't have internally aligned resources for this transition, then again, there's a big chance of failure. So this slide is a little bit more complex, but it's actually a very straightforward way to determine whether you have product market fit. So customer value means the size of your transaction, and the sales strategy means the amount of time you spent with as one sale transaction. So the sales transactions go from low touch through medium touch through high touch, and customer value can range from very small to small and medium to very big. So if you want to have a lot of customers that have a small and medium transaction value, you need to have a large number of low price deals. This means that you need to have automated sales, and you need to sell based on a platform approach or an app approach. So hopefully this makes sense to you, because this is the green sector. This is the sector you want to be in. This is the sector that allows you to achieve success. So again, you want to spend as little time as possible with each customer, ideally fully automate the sales process, and achieve a very large number of transactions, and then you can afford to have a small transaction value. So the other spectrum is you have a large transaction value, so you have the Fortune 100, the Fortune 500 companies, but you will spend a lot of time. So you'll have a lot of sales effort, a lot of solution management, right? So it's high touch. It's not only sales, it's also creating documentation, it's creating dedicated business models, it's creating dedicated technical add-ons, as we discussed, right? And for this to work, you need to have a small number of high price deals, and you need to customize your product, and you really need to build a relationship with your customer. So this green area, very small and low touch, are your ideal transactional customers. And this green area, so very big value and a lot of effort, are your relationship customers. Now, what's very easy to understand here are the red areas, right? So you don't go there from day one. You know that you cannot go there. So having a very small transaction value and a high touch. Yeah, so a lot of effort for very small transactions means this will never be scalable. And a very big transaction value, but you're trying to approach it with a very transactional approach, simply doesn't work. Yeah, so it simply doesn't work. No big customer, no big transaction value can be generated based on very low effort in sales. And then we have the green area, the yellow area, which is the uneasy middle. And the uneasy middle is where companies go to die. So here we know it doesn't work. Here we know it doesn't work. Here we know it does work. And here we know it does work. In the uneasy middle, you are going back and forth. You're thinking, okay, maybe I will find a bunch of smaller customers and I'll do a little bit of service for them and they'll pay me a little bit more and so on. So these are typical service companies. These are typical service companies that try to perform or find their niche in a market that is not big, not small, and kind of try to build the relationship, but can't really spend much time on it. And these are not scalable companies, right? So if you're doing code, if you're doing software, if you're creating a product that is meant to be scalable, you don't want to be here. And so once you achieve product market fit, then you develop your sales strategy, right? So here we won't go into a lot of details, but sales strategies at the very basic level, obviously there's much more complexity to it. Range from e-commerce through direct sales to retail, indirect sales, and component sales. So your company, your startup wants to reach the customer, right? The customer, yeah, So the customer sends you money, you send the customer products and services. Straightforward. The question is how? So in e-commerce, it's direct. Your startup sends the product or service to the customer, and the customer directly sends you money. Super easy, super straightforward. The question is, can you build a relationship with a customer if you are selling directly to them online via an e-commerce solution? So I think everybody can answer that question on their own. But in general, if you're selling something just purely online, selling, I'm not talking about providing the way they access it. I'm just talking about the way that you collect their purchase order. If you want to do it completely online, then you're most likely not going to be building a relationship opportunity. You are building a transaction opportunity. Yeah. So this determines how you align your resources and activities and what type of size of transaction you are proposing and to which type of customer and how much effort, right? So e-commerce in general is low touch, small value. Direct selling. So this is where you introduce sales representatives. And in startups, it's most cases, it's the founders who are sales reps. And you want to build a relationship. So here it means you cannot really build it with a large number of customers. But then if you want to scale, you need to have a lot of sales representatives. So you need to hire a lot of salespeople, most likely regional salespeople, then in each region, then in each country. And then you end up with a huge sales organization, which is totally fine if you have the ability to sell a high value product and build relationships. There's also the possibility to go through retailers. So retailers basically take a much bigger chunk of your revenue. Yeah. In many cases, they will take 30%, like Apple or Google take 30%. Kuba, are we still on? Just making sure. Okay, cool. So, and retailers will take a big chunk of your revenue. And this means that there's less money left for your startup, but it also means that you don't have to build a relationship with a customer, and you can create a low-touch product with a small value that a retailer will build the relationship with the customer. It also means that you get a lot less profit. So it's a decision to make. And going forward, you can have distributors. So you have somebody that builds the sales force for you. Again, this means that you are left with even less profit, and it means that you need to manage the distribution network and you need to manage the people that are in the distribution network. And in many cases, this can be a very, very successful strategy because if you have a simple solution that everybody can sell, but you don't want to spend time on building relationships with customers, you find people that will do it for you. And finally, the OEMs. So if you are just providing a component of a bigger product, so with AI, it's very easy to imagine that you create a component that helps another provider dramatically improve the service to their customer. So you sell your part, your little element to somebody much bigger. Again, this means that you collect a lot less profit directly from the total solution, but your road to market is much shorter, right? So it's much easier to find those OEM providers. That's it. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure. Hopefully everybody found value in what we were discussing. And I really hope that you join us for the remainder part of Hackathon. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'll be here on the Mentors channel today.
Yes, thank you, Paweł, for your interesting presentation. I hope teams will use this knowledge in their projects. And of course, Paweł is a mentor, so feel free to discuss your business plans with Paweł.
Yes, please. Yes, please reach out, and I will be more than happy to interact and help.
Okay, so we have another part of today's stream. With us is also Matthias. Hi, Matthias. Can you share your camera? Hello.
Hello.
So we'll have an interactive stream, and we'll be generating images with DALL-E. So feel free to type in chat what prompt you'd like us to use, and we'll paste it in DALL-E and see what it will generate.
Cool. You hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I just need to share my screen, I guess. Oh, which chat will they write in? Like the Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch chat, but actually we stream on other platforms also, so I see all the comments from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. So and also we stream on Twitter. So we have first prompt idea. So
Nice.
let's. Can you share your screen?
Yes, I'm fixing that here. Do we have anywhere so when you get prompts that you can copy them in for me?
Yes. Sure.
Screen sharing coming.
The first prompt is a panda surfing the ocean on a barrel whilst eating an ice cream.
Okay. 30 seconds here. Okay, let's see. Screens. Or maybe it's better I share the browser window. Maybe that gives.
Sure.
Let's try. I will see. Yes. All right. And then you pass the prompts to me. Yes, here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Panda surfing an ocean on a barrel while eating ice cream. Is the resolution good? Because if it helps, I mean, you can probably zoom in a little like that.
Cool. You can zoom.
Awesome. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, we will have, I think, they put a limitation now. 50 generation, you can generate 50 per day.
Yeah, exactly. This is the limit.
This is the limit. Interesting sofas there.
Okay, which one do you like the most? I like this in the middle on the bottom. I like the style.
Yeah, it's nice.
We can actually add some digital art and see how it will work.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking also. Yeah, it's very much the output that are created are very much dependent on certain keywords or the style. Some genius came up with if you write 8K, you get really high quality pictures, which makes sense.
Yes, can you see it is completely different now? And so I like bottom, left, and middle. Can you enlarge one of this?
Yeah, sure. This one was nice.
Yeah.
let's try and see just if we can get it. Also, let know once we get a new prompt.
Yeah, we have another one. I will send it to you.
Let's just try let this high quality photo. Pandas. Let's try if it can do photorealistic before we jump forward.
Very nice. Look, please download the one on the top right corner.
Top right. This.
Yeah. Please download it. It's lovely.
Yeah.
This one looks fun. Easy photo. This one looks like a Photoshop copy and paste.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I sent you another prompt.
Yeah, I have it. Okay. Shetland sheepdog in the space with Jupiter in the background.
Painting.
Could work.
After we can choose like the type of painting, like oil painting, for example, or watercolor.
Or we should. I'm so bad at different paint. You can be quite specific, like fun. Looks like this poster from.
Yeah, I would really like to see watercolor, or maybe not, maybe oil painting. Yeah.
This sounds nice. And if the people, the one written the prompt,
Style of Van Gogh. Someone wrote.
Okay, we'll try that. If anyone that wrote the prompt want the images generated or anyone of them, I guess you let Kuba know or me know and we'll make that happen.
Yeah. Write the prompts. We read all the comments, so please add as many as you can. Like when you have an idea, just write it, and we'll generate it.
So for those who maybe are curious, or don't know, so actually DALL-E is created on very similar technology and approach that are used for both GPT-3 and Codex. Which
Lovely.
means that one input will transform into an output. And I think in the case with DALL-E, they trained it by basically scraping the internet of a lot of Of course, they had image data sets, but also scraping the internet after available images and using the alt descriptive tag as the input parameter.
Please download this one also for me, for social media.
This one?
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Okay, do we have any
someone
more
wrote the one on the upper right corner is awesome.
Yeah, it's like a lion almost.
Yeah. Okay, we have another prompt, and the author asked, I guess, to send the photo generate, so we can send it in Discord after. The next generation.
Yes, coming up.
So an alien reading a book.
An alien reading a book while sitting on a tree made of candy. Nice. Nice.
Okay. Can author say which the photo should we download?
Yeah, we can collect. I can download all of these photos we did afterwards, and I will put it in one of the chats. Yeah, yes. Right now, actually, you have this DALL-E. Yeah, so actually here at Hugging Face, because here people can put up different models, which is really cool. So actually here, if anyone want to use, you have a DALL-E Mini that is much less powerful. So we could just compare for fun, like what is how much more powerful are the full DALL-E 2 compared to the DALL-E 2 Mini.
And am I right if DALL-E Mini is like comparable with the first DALL-E that was made by OpenAI?
I will honestly say that I do not have these numbers in my head, so I don't want to answer. But it could be, or it's a model, because, for example, I was running a version of DALL-E 2 a couple of months ago when I made the cats. That was partly trained. So they open sourced a model that had about 20% of the full training. And I believe this very well could be that same model. So it's probably the real one, but it's come down to the training. So you only get 25% of the training in the one they release. So then you can, of course, add more training and so on, but it's a big and complex and quite expensive task. So yeah, here we can see the difference between DALL-E and DALL-E Mini. It's quite significant, to say the least. DALL-E Mini, DALL-E 2.
Okay, guys, we need more prompts. We can generate something from our ideas now. While waiting.
Yeah, what is your idea, Kuba?
Need to think. I actually, like a month ago, I saw on Twitter some animal and vehicles hybrids, so we can make like a, I don't know, elephant car hybrid. Chimeras. I think it's chimera.
So what you said, elephant?
And car. And car, chimera.
Chimera?
Yeah. So like, it's a hybrid animal and car. Chimera. I will write it to you on Discord. How is it spelled? It's CH. at the beginning.
I will look at Discord. Anime. What is it? It's Japanese.
Anime? What? What is Japanese?
Chimera.
I think it's from Greek.
Greek.
I think so. Another prompt.
Oh.
Interesting.
Look at this poor guy. Is this what you like?
Maybe not photorealistic, maybe digital art, because try digital art.
Nice.
Okay. I guess it's not a chimera, but nice photo.
Oh, downloaded by mistake. Look at this one. He looks. I had a tough night, I guess. Slaughtered them. Ate the car. Yeah. This is how I felt when I woke up 15 minutes ago.
Okay, you have a question in the chat if there are any limits. So the limit is not to generate real people, and also photorealistic people. So like fake people also we can't generate in a photorealistic style. And these are the only limits, I think.
Yeah, regular. You can say like if we are talking about regulations around it, there are certain things that can't be done, that are forbidden. So I think they have like, first of all, there is a type of classification on your prompt. So if you write things that have like, let's say, faces or people or strange or bad stuff, so to say, just if we block it, and then as Kuba said, so it can't do faces, they will just be blurry and so on. But when it comes to limitation of the model itself, yes, there are a lot of limitations. So it could be very hard for it in many cases to mix certain elements, or also that there is a lack of training data on that specific object, so to say.
Before you go to the next one, sorry.
Okay.
Can you enlarge one at the bottom right corner, please? Good. I like this actually. The fire from the head is cool. Download it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will download all of this.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here. Imagination of the fourth dimension. Yeah.
Interesting. I would add some style, just like I don't know, some paintings.
Yeah, I would say paintings those images are quite easy to do because there is not so much in it. So for example here, if we go to this one and we do like this. Yeah, then it's correct. And I recommend everyone to check out a bit on Hugging Face. They have a lot of people put up models like this, and they put a little UI on it, so you can just go in here and run it. You have it in these spaces, up here spaces. You find a lot of different image guns there. And this is a gun for, I believe they are using. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So like paintings and so is relatively easy. Okay, grabbing the next one. What is more impressive is when we can do stuff like rounding, and then maybe something like 8K. And we'll see how this turn out. I have never tried this prompt or anything similar, but it feels like, okay, monkey, it for sure have seen a lot of monkey photos, a lot more monkeys than say chickens. So therefore we know it should be able to perform this task pretty well. So I mean, this is quite good.
Yeah.
But then we can easily kind of, a cool thing with this is that we can then edit a photo, so to say. So we could take this photo and let's nice.
Terminator eyes. Burn.
Yeah, I don't know how well this will be because it depends a bit on maybe the lighting on the rest of the photo, but let's see. I think it will be okay.
Oh, the one on the bottom, in the middle, the green eye.
Yeah, it didn't really turn out the way we wanted. But I kind of felt this would happen because it also looks a lot at the logic of this picture, and I don't think there are many pictures with this say of color tone that include spicy reflections in the eyes and especially not fire. So therefore, even if we maybe if we do like this, reflect big fire. How is the hackathon going, Kuba? Do we have any teams?
Yeah, we have teams on platform, and I hope they work on their concepts.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. That's very good. So yeah, still it kinda don't succeed with this. So let's just try if we remove this one. And we see, because now we allow it to, yeah, basically use its whole library of logic. With editing the eyes, we limit it so much, and not only in the prompt but also the rest of the photo that it looks at. But apparently it have a hard time doing this. I mean, a prompt like this would have been quite easy for a person to do it. Wouldn't have been looking so good, but we would have got what we want to achieve. Yeah, too much mango. All right.
Yeah, we have. I sent you some prompts that people requested.
Yeah. All right. What is this?
Minotaur. The Minotaur was before.
Oh, sorry. I will take that one after. Thrall is a fictional character from Warcraft. Yeah. Cool. I had a little short career in Warcraft 3 before. That was before World of Warcraft. Back in the days.
Yeah, the Thrall was also there, if I remember correct.
Yeah. I even was around when Warcraft 2 was released. And Warcraft, I must have played first Warcraft, but first Warcraft was not very old. Very old and bad, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this one I played. But then Warcraft. But is there Warcraft 3? Yes, so this is Warcraft 3. Okay, here. Yeah, so
Maybe
this.
Let's add some style because now it's random.
Yes, because we are also trying to squeeze a lot of difficulty things into the photo. A minotaur? Wasn't it a... Ah, yeah, okay, so this is the Thrall fighting cows in the middle of Poland. Yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
a
no?
Minotaur. Yeah. A Minotaur is a bull, but that looks a little bit like a human. It's from Glucose.
Okay, so I never did that Thrall one? No?
No, you didn't. You pasted it just in the Google search field.
I copied the wrong line there. Because it was confusing because our next prompt is this one, and it have cows and Poland, and here we have cows and very, very Polish color. Okay, Minotaur carrying a bathtub filling with flowers was walking on a string. So yeah, it's hard to get this better, I think, but like digital art we can try, but it's just a logical combination here. It will not be able to figure it out really. If it would have been like a cat carrying a nut, holding flowers while walking on ice cream, yeah, it would have been better.
Wow.
Still not perfect.
The style is pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's also, and here we can think about it like, okay, so digital art or art that where this word also have been included, we can imagine many of those images have been something in this style, like some cool stuff, fiction character or so. So therefore, the images tend to go this way. So if you know, like for example, if you can figure out what kind of specific styles it had been trained on and data sets and so on, you can kind of figure out, okay, what would it be able to do? What can it do and create a nice output? So to actually understand what type of data there is in it, can really help to create good prompts, I would say. All right. Trial fighting cows, but let's see if we can get that DALL-E 2 training set. Here, I actually been running the glide one and also clip. But glide is actually the one I used for my cats. I will show the cats in the end of the stream. All right. Trial fighting cows in the middle of Poland.
Like, it forgot about trial. These are just fighting cows.
Yeah. So I wonder how does the world see on this thing? So you can say we chop it up a little because else Google gonna be smart and tweak the result after what comes first. So then there will be mainly trouble. So I think
Maybe write trial from World of Warcraft, or something like
that. Yes, what I wanted to show is that cow painting that is a lot like this, as you can see in our Google. And that's also why we end up with this kind of similar results. Okay. World.
It's world.
But World of Warcraft should give us a better one. Maybe we can take in Poland, and then we do, what is it called? Is there a style like game art?
Game, like 3D? 3D render or something? Okay, so you have styles.
No, but I was thinking like, okay, we can do like this. Digital game art. So the hackathon, it starts today, or did people start building yesterday already?
As far as I know, people starting on concepts yesterday even, yeah, because they were contacting mentors.
Yeah, I think it is unfortunately Poland that are screwing these images up, because the logic, then it tried to take things from Poland that fit in, and yeah, I guess there's a lot of oil paintings and old paintings or something. So I think if we remove this, the style could become very different. Let's see. Let's try one last in this team. Okay, and then we'll see. Let's take another one. Maybe orcs and cows are a rare combination. Yeah, I wouldn't say it managed to do this so well. What do you think, Cooper?
I like the previous style. Just when you were writing this World of Warcraft, I like just the style of the image. Maybe we didn't have trial, but it was still nice.
Three guinea pigs in clothes standing on a high mountain in a clay world. This was nice. This was nice. Okay, do we have any more prompts?
No, we don't. Please suggest new prompts in the chat. We have some generations left to this 50 limit. This one looks fun.
You have a new one?
New one? No.
Okay, so what we can do meanwhile, we can look a little here, or one place I go to sometimes to get some inspiration is they have actually an Instagram, OpenAI, where they are reposting prompts that people done that have turned out well. This one is very cool.
Oh, we have new prompt. I will send it to you. Oh, actually we have two prompts. Oops. Matthias, are you here?
I am here. Do you see me?
You stopped sharing your screen and camera.
Yeah, I don't know. It just for some reason it restarted.
I'm sending you prompt and another one.
Another one. Dinosaurs playing football. I would recommend, like, when you give prompts, the more specific you can be, the better. Let's add something. Deviant art. in here we have digital illustration styles. Yes. Give me the okay, here we have Nima. You like Kuba?
Yeah, sure.
Picture books. Mm.
Oh, actually, I was thinking about generating Narval image, so we can do Narval after.
Oh, concept art. That could be very good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's connected to this, so this could also be fantasy, I guess. Or no? Yeah, because this is commercial art, sure. But then this should be concept art, and this is fantasy. Do you know who this to the right is?
It's from Game of Thrones, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen all those. I made it to the 3rd season. They were in some forest in the winter. Or realism. Okay, this is cool. We need to try some of this. But first, our dinosaurs. Okay, let's try with auto style also. Yeah, I guess we are a bit stuck there. Let's see if concept art can save this image. But they are also like dinosaurs playing football. Okay, what is the most likely type of images this have been seen in the training set? It's very likely it is images with this type of style that we did see the previous ones, because it's mostly kids with crayons painting dinosaurs playing football. All the books. Okay, let me try one. Cyborg. Right. Cyborg, Rhino, Warrior. Warrior. But okay, neon. And teal colors. Concept art. Fantasy. Concept art. Let's see. This one I believe it can do well, just because in the logic of these terms there's mostly cool pictures. I can suppose, so this should be cool. Yeah. But if we try some animal where it really probably don't have any of these cooler images, like frog, because I believe there's not many froggish images in cooler type of art style. So according to my pre-calculations here, we shouldn't get a good image. Not maybe a good image, but not mind-blowing, but who knows? I shouldn't say so much because you never know. Yeah, it's okay, but not as cool. But if it's because now we will get a nice image. So yeah, it all depends a bit what it have been trained on. Like DALL-E 2 is we could say a general purpose model, so it's trained on a pretty wide image set. But it's quite if we are looking to create images within a certain narrow area, then of course we can limit our training sets within this area. We can make the model really good at creating this specific type of images. And this also means our cost of training the system drastically goes down. Because basically any new all logic we add to a model adds variables, and variables equal data size and training size. So variables is the devil. All right, shadow figure looking at happy people in a park. So controversial term. Prompt. What do you say, Kuba? You are more political correct than me, so.
I don't know. I don't think it's controversial.
Okay, you are.
Actually, this in the middle on the top, it looks cool with this 3 hands.
Yeah, and do you have any idea how this picture came to be?
No.
Okay. My theory is a bit that when looking into training set and images connecting to this certain keyword, so shadowy figure, in a park, I can imagine that are very often combined, with scary trees or scary surroundings. Maybe lightning also. So lightning and scary trees and so on. So therefore, this guy here ends up with this pretty scary, but these strange arms, because the logic is very strong towards this type of patterns from training data. Let's look here. No. Okay. This it will probably do pretty well, semi-well. Maybe not ultimate, but it will be pretty good because this is kind of things that belong together. You many times probably seen a picture, a graveyard or something, thundery night, somebody looking. And then of course at happy people. So if we remove happy, once again, it will probably improve and become quite much better, because happy doesn't help it to generate a great image. It's kind of counter logic towards everything else. So in the image, we end up with skewing the output quite a lot. So yeah, as we remove strange elements, it's gradually becomes better. So here we have, maybe this was the one the prompt writer was looking. All right. On to the next. So here we have Mecha Narval. Should it be Mech Narval or Mecha?
I made this.
Oh. You made it?
Yes.
Let's see. No, here, this Chimera, I seen this cat submarine. Felt Japanese to me. So that's why I thought it was Japanese.
Yes, we will download the pictures. So we just need to think how we will post all of them. I guess the middle one, but this looks weird.
Yeah, and I believe that training set around these things are not enough to create something good and a bridge between these two things. But if we remove that's a drill, and we maybe take Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will improve the output quite much. Yeah, we can look at what prompts people use, because it's also about figuring out what really works. A colorful 3D render of a disco ball Saturn in space. So one thing I thought was funny, and this is so obvious, but basically nobody thought about it, but a portrait of a basset hound, 8K. And by including that 8K, anyone almost gets that, not anyone, everyone gets that images that had a 8K in their tag was always high quality. So by including 8K, we can really enforce a behavior where it will be very, very detailed pictures and a lot of close-ups, so to say, because this is most likely how images that actually, if somebody marks out this 8K image, it's probably an image by default that have a very high detail, and else it would not even be, it wouldn't be marked out if it wasn't something detailed, impressive detail-wise. All right, look at this. Yeah,
quite similar.
Still, yeah.
Maybe not much narrows in the training data.
No, we can try whale. Yes. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, I don't, maybe machine and fishes doesn't, not fishes, whales doesn't go so well together. Maybe that's not all too common thing. I feel like I have seen a lot of them though. What the fuck? Sorry. I don't know. It's just like it just shuts down time to time. Like, but for like a millisecond. I'm back here. Okay, we have more prompts. Right, somebody asking about mentorship. All right, let's see. I need to find you again, Kuba, here. Okay, we have a new prompt. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Here we go. Do you remember what prompt we used when we got the bears?
Yeah, I have it on my phone. Notes. I will send it to you.
I can show some of these images. We actually had a stream the other day on Twitch. I guess it's available there for anyone that want to see it. I will show you guys a funny thing. I just need to think how to do this. One second, I'm looking at my phone. Okay, we have yeah. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah, so this one we did when we were doing our stream, and it turned out very cool. Yeah, it was somebody who wrote the prompt, if I remember correct. That's a funny thing, but I need to find it in this hell of a thread. Yes, here.
It's quite similar to the ones generated last time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm trying to share another window here. Un momento, por favor. No. Okay. Coming here now. Okay, we have it. I just need to change window. How do I do this? 1, 2, 3. No, I can't find her. I can't get back to the channel. Okay. Here. Let's change the screen. Change window. All right. Let's see this one. Yes. Okay, so no. Okay, let's almost there. Patience. There's a dog on the screen now, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so what is wrong? I'm trying to just put more photos into this thing. It refuses. It's not possible. Now maybe. Yes, I'm sorry. I need to try to share again. We have a full-blown technical cavalry. Okay, now I think I'm on a good path. Yes. Okay, sharing again. How long are we streaming, Kuba?
We start like an hour, I think.
Okay, now we have the panda here. Yeah, so funny story was that with the glide variant of DALL-E 2, so the only one that are open source, once about almost a year ago, a little bit less, I did a lot of cats. And they turned out pretty well. I did some in like Starry Night and different ones. And then it was this cat that was a very odd figure among the cats, but it was it looks very funny. So actually, when I was trying to get DALL-E, so we worked a lot with OpenAI and often get access to things really early. But I was asking them for DALL-E 2 access, actually, to run it on one of the Deep Learning Labs events. But they were not sharing to anyone basically at this point, only people working at OpenAI. But that as a last funny things, I sent them 3 of my cats I did, where one of the cats was this one. And then 2 days later, the DALL-E 2 team came back and they said, "Oh, we can't stop thinking about amazing cats." And Raf, a guy I talk quite much with there, then created this one from my cat. So the dual cat. Where I responded the last one with adding the sunglasses. So yeah, that's maybe one way to get DALL-E. Bribe them with cats. That's how I did, and I think I was on the first people in the world that got it outside OpenAI team. So yeah, cats. So here's some other images we have done. These are from the other day. Don't remember the exact prompts. What is a cat in a mushroom forest eating ice cream? A DJing bear, something. Another DJing bear. An 8K DJing bear. I think the case was we had this, and here we added 8K. That's we have this high detail per view. And what was the prompt? This was also some bear digital art candy. Somebody ate this bear's face, though. Yeah, some 3D renderings. Yeah, so all of this is very cool, and it's still. This is not DALL-E 2, though. This is my friend in Unreal Engine 5. But yeah, this really shows what is happening in compute overall. Now this is very early in the technology, where very early at the stage where it actually start to perform. I have seen other models that outperform DALL-E 2 drastically, but in narrow areas where they can perform really well. While DALL-E 2 is a more, say, general purpose training set that is much more 360 degrees, so to say. But yeah, what will happen in a quite near future is that we will first of all be able to edit and change any type of images, regardless if it's photorealistic or digital, do the edits and the changes we want without knowing the series of 52 keyboard combinations in Photoshop to actually achieve that task. So if we are able to point, mark, and tell the system what we want, I think we very soon will reach a level where it can do advanced photo editing or adding to photos and change things. So areas where most of us kind of we know what we want, but we don't know the Photoshop keyboard combinations. And this is what's happening in other spaces, such as development also, that the command part is disappearing. So it's a really exciting time overall in the space. But it doesn't make anyone obsolete or not needed. Expertise are still very important. It's simply that instead of doing a manual labor, which we more or less are doing with our hands, pushing the buttons, it's just more automatic and much faster. But yeah, it's here to empower us. What do you say, Kuba?
I can say that we have a question from Fluffy in the chat. Do you think soon there will be live AI 3D rendering, like generate a world on the go?
Yeah, I think it's hard, because it's extremely compute intensive to make this type of images. So, for example, one thing OpenAI did. Oh, I will change to. If I change to 60 FPS and 180p, is it better? Okay, I'll change just what I'm sharing and I'll answer the question. Mm-hmm. Kuba,
Yes.
can you just tell me? I will change to 60 FPS, another resolution. Tell me if it gets worse or better.
Okay.
It's done. Yeah, I did it already. Yeah, probably there were no difference because there was nothing happening on the screen. Okay, sorry. Once again, what was the question? 3D rendering.
Yeah, live 3D rendering, like a word on the go.
Yeah, so this stuff is super compute intensive. So, as I said, I did some cats myself, and maybe I did 200 cats, but this is many $1,000s in compute in some cases. Anyway, at the point I did it because first of all, the output you get from a model like this is not a high resolution image. It's often 252x252 pixels or 512 pixels. So it's really small. And then what I did, and we could assume OpenAI use something similar, is that then you run additional AI to actually scale your image up. But it could be that they have fixed the output also. But the one thing they did the other week, so initially you had 8 images coming out from it. And actually, what you get is not 8 single images. You get a stripe where all these images are together. So then you kind of need to cut them out. But one thing they did was that they decreased from 8 images out to 6 images, just to be able to allow some more people to use it. 3D rendering, it will most likely take some time, especially because then we are not looking at rendering one little small image. We are looking at a far more complex thing to render. And as I mentioned earlier, variables are the enemy. The more variables you get in, the more do your potential combinations drastically grow. And that means we need to move more data around in the computer. And yes, so there we need more, and therefore we need more compute, so to say. So less variables, less compute. Yeah. Do we have a last prompt, maybe?
If you have some prompts to suggest, please write them in the chat. I wrote one. I created it myself, so you can, while we're waiting for some prompts from the viewers, you can try mine.
Yeah, this will look like He-Man. Should I change the spelling?
Yeah. It's a typo.
Okay. Look, what's the name of this one that comes to get you when it's time to check out? To say.
Just Death, I guess. Or Grim Reaper or something. Okay. I guess the middle top is fine. Or the bottom left corner.
This prompt.
Okay, we have one more prompt.
Okay, last one then. I need to help some teams out. Tall sheep running at Olympic marathon rallies. Yeah, so you can see the unfair advantage AI are able to provide for those with access nowadays. You can be heavily empowered writing your content. You can create your images, social media captions. You can be powered by Codex or GitHub Copilot when you write code. And I would recommend everyone to go and get GitHub Copilot. It's generally available now from GitHub, and it's free until August, and it's awesome. And you don't have to Google as much as we normally do in development. You know, this is the running joke, Kuba.
What?
That people believe people writing code actually always know inside out how to write this, but reality is it's more a lot of Googling.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so this was the last prompt, right?
Yeah, let's wrap it with this one.
Oh, Benz wrote, do we make another one for Benz?
All right, let's do it very fast then, just because it's Benson.
I sent you.
Yeah, this one could actually work. I think maybe tomorrow or something we could have one prompt collected from each team. We generate those and we do some voting. Can give the winners something nice.
Okay.
Can give the winners that we will spend some money on AI and we will scale it up to 8K for them.
Okay, we can ask teams for the prompts.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Okay, that's it. Thank you, each one of you that have watched. If you have any ideas about streams we should do or discussions, or if we should interview someone or anything else, please let us know. We are looking for things to start broadcast and stream, so ideas are welcome. Thank you, Kuba, for helping out.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for the prompts.
Yeah,
and for the ones that are doing the hackathon, good luck on developing your concepts.